The first few hours of Age of Empires 4 held up to be a highly interesting experience, so I thought I would do a quick introduction to those who are interested. Age of Empires 4 is a real-time strategy game, or RTS, a game type that is particularly interested in the battlefield level of strategy. You won't be seeing any huge maps with whole nations interacting here. You control an army with different types of soldiers, good at various things, and have to direct them to take over the enemy base to win, or various other objectives. Within the base is your economic hub, where you gather resources, create buildings, and actually have to build your army, simultaneously with controlling your army out in the field. This means you have to balance the macro of building your army on a grand scale, and the micro of directing your troops in the battles. I think it's been long enough since we had an RTS that it's important to describe the real core concept of it, even though I'm sure a lot of people will be familiar. Age of Empires continues this long tradition, with its unique part moving through the ages. Although this is just increasing your tech level to some level if you're familiar with StarCraft, it gives flavour and an historical grounding for the aesthetic choices. The history also does change how the units interact, the cavalry being good against archers, or spearmen countering cavalry, all important information as you strategise them, both directing your army and building one also. All these systems create a style of game that is very layered in terms of skill level required, backed up with the knowledge of the game and systems themselves. At a high level, competitive RTS is a joy to watch, and even a learner can have a lot of fun with them as you build up your skills and pick up the game. That is to say, the tutorial within will teach you the basics, but you will usually have to go online to find deeper guides to actually get at what's going on. I'm not sure if that's true with this series, to be honest. I'm not super familiar with it, but it's just an important side note if you are interested in the multiplayer. The actual campaign serves to learn some of these mechanics though, so you will pick up the very core basics by just playing the game. I'm still playing through the Normandy campaign, but there is one that faces the Mongols, another one in France, and one in Russia also. I'm especially interested in to see how the videos go with these. And let's get to that interesting point, the videos. It's the bits outside of the actual gameplay. You see, between missions you get short films. They are well filmed, highly edited, short documentary style clips. During the early stages of the game, you get a sense that the crew who film them understand what film does well, showing the labour that goes into constructing a wall, a crossbow or a chainmail, something where description alone doesn't quite get at what is involved in creation of these things. They give you a flavour to the main game. It understands that the actual history is not just an aesthetic choice this is within the game, the consequences of it affect the play. Even if some of the rules are slightly broken, the crossbow video places it as the most common and best ranged weapon on the Plantagenet battlefields, but in the game they are archers. I assume that's for some reason behind series cohesion. It is a sequel after all. So far these videos haven't had too much new information. I like reading history, I quite like history as a subject, but actually showing certain elements is revealing in only a way images can be. They're highly entertaining, and I think potentially one of the best ways to flesh out the actual history of a game like this. As I said, you're never going to mechanically perfect a representation of history, so if you want an element of it to be an education, then separating it from actual play makes a lot of sense. These videos also give you a sense of scale. I have no idea how accurate they are. I know battles from this period are actually a lot smaller than you think, or can be a lot smaller, but showing real world locations with little outlines of soldiers is evocative if nothing else. So that's the basics of Age of Empires 4. I really enjoyed my beginning of this game, especially with it being on Game Pass. It's a hard recommend for anyone who has a vague interest in RTS, history, or strategy games in general. I've been known to get drawn into RTSs in the past, so who knows, within a year this could be an Age of Empires strategy video channel. It may not be reinventing the wheel, but for such a beloved genre to be so scarce these days, I will take a well-crafted, homely, comforting picking any day. Thank you for watching, my name's been Billy, goodbye.